during Advanced Hair's best offer ever. For details and a free consultation, call 469-599-HAIR. AdvancedHair.com. AdvancedHair.com.
History is unfolding, and you're listening to it on News Talk 710 KURV, Edinburgh, McAllen, Harlingen, Brownsville.
Drama in the West Bank. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Israel's military has relocated a Palestinian man who'd been trapped inside his home for days, surrounded by Jewish settlers, who U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee called terrorists.
Huckabee, who's voiced support for Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank, making the unusually critical comments after Israeli settlers besieged 3 Palestinian homes near Nablus, including one belonging to a dual U.S. citizen, trapping residents in their homes using rocks and tents and cutting off water and electricity. Huckabee posting on X, "There's no excuse for such thuggish behavior."
That's Fox's Lillian Wu. Israel's also continuing to attack Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza, killing one of the terror group's senior commanders. As the standoff continues over the Strait of Hormuz, Iran's Joint Military Command said today that no vessel gets through without their permission, after months of attacks disrupting oil and other shipping.
Iran's foreign minister also says the U.S. has long miscalculated due to intelligence failures, now an even bigger miscalculation on the Strait of Hormuz. This came after President Trump posted yesterday on Truth Social, saying in part the USA has total control over the Strait of Hormuz. Our naval blockade is being called by everyone a wall of steel. Still less than 10% of the average number of pre-war vessels are passing through the strait.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. There's more ICE controversy potentially coming after all the protests over immigration raids. The Department of Homeland Security plans to provide ICE with gloves that can deliver electric shocks to deal with anyone not complying. Borders Czar Tom Homan tells Fox.
ICE officer assaults are higher than any other federal law enforcement agency in the nation. So they're just trying to protect themselves.
But Democrats don't like it.
Of course we are outraged.
New York Attorney General Letitia James vows if anyone gets hurt by these shock gloves, the state will take action. America's listening to Fox News.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
Ice Cube's Big 3 season is heating up, and it all comes down to this. The Big 3 playoffs are coming to Dallas, Texas. The 4 best teams in the Big 3 battle it out for a spot in the championship. The action starts with the legendary Big 3 Celebrity Game. 3 games of the most physical, competitive, and nonstop 3-on-3 action. The game played the way you love. Watch live Saturday on CBS at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and catch replays Monday on BET. Yay, yay!
Stocks are rising this morning. The Dow up 198 points. The Nasdaq gaining 232. The S&P 500 adding 56, hitting a new all-time intraday high after a wholesale inflation update showing no change in producer prices last month from June. And like consumer prices, the PPI annual inflation rate dropped in July. In addition to that update, we got this report this morning.
The job market is showing more signs of holding up. Separately, the number of new claims for unemployment benefits rose slightly last week to 209,000, but continuing claims, those remaining on benefits, dropped to 1.77 million.
That's Fox's Ginny Casola. Oil prices, they're down more than 2% this morning, putting WTI back to $81 a barrel. But gas jumped up 4 cents today. AAA's national average for regular, $4.07 per gallon. That's a penny more than last Thursday, over $1 higher than before the Iran conflict, the highest gas price ever for August. In football, just ahead of the season, a pro quarterback He's not happy with his old college team, LSU.
The former Heisman Trophy winner furious with the school after they allowed another player to wear his number 5 jersey. Daniels and his attorney issued a cease and desist to the school, claiming his body of work with LSU should result in his jersey being retired. DJ Pickett is expected to wear the number 5 jersey during the upcoming season. Head coach Lane Kiffin recently told reporters that Pickett was promised the number when signing with LSU. In addition, Daniels is reportedly upset he didn't get the same treatment that Joe Burrow got when the school retired his number 9. Jay Berman, Fox News.
Jaden Daniels is now quarterback for the Washington Commanders. And somebody in Illinois won the Powerball jackpot last night, just over $1 billion. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast, mostly sunny and hot today. Highs in the upper 90s to 105 with the southeast winds 15 to 25 miles an hour. Breezy this evening, mainly clear and humid. Lows only dropping into the lower 80s. The southeast wind still at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Becoming windier with clouds and sun. A spotty afternoon thunderstorm Friday. Highs in the upper 90s to near 105. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Catarina on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
The 710 KURV People Poll is brought to you by Total Imaging Solutions. Visit them to claim your free color photocopier.
Summer is almost over, but your chance to become a millionaire isn't. Choctaw Casino and Resort Durant has already made 2 Lucky Rewards Club members millionaires this summer. And there's still $1 million prize left. Is it yours? Your final chance to bring home $1 million cash is on August 22nd. So play with your Rewards Club card to earn entries for the grand finale drawing. Get away to it all at Choctaw Casino and Resort Durant, where millionaires are made.
I told my buyers, let's get them bought. Right now is the time to go. GiveMeTheVin.com is America's best car buyer, paying top dollar for your car, truck, sports car, exotic. What are you waiting for? We want to buy your car right now. Find out why thousands of satisfied customers across the United States put more money in their pocket by going to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. From the Radio United Broadcast Center, this is the Sergio Show. Talking about the news headlines and topics that affect you. And now, the Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez.
Here we go, kids. This is the Sergio Show, News Talk 710 KURV, and we're on the road as promised. What is I Link Up Institute in Leadership in Capital Projects, and they have a luncheon that's scheduled for today. It's folks at I Link Up, that Leadership in Capital Projects. That's a collection of folks who are engineering, and they're contractors, anybody in the business of erecting a structure, whether it's mostly businesses, homes, but also folks that are in the business of building, things like the county courthouse or schools, or maybe some of the big industry headed this way. And I know that you guys listening to KURV, we're happening. This is the happening place. So today I link up the Institute in Leadership for Capital Projects, having this luncheon today. We are in Harlingen at the real beautiful Harlingen Convention Center. And I want to say thank you to ERO Architects. We'll have a chance to hear from them in a little bit. Also, big thank you to Maricela de Leon, Mari from RGV Lead, dealing with workforce issues. She's also participating today, but is also responsible for getting us here to Harlingen today. And I want to say thank you and good morning and welcome into the program, an individual that keeps KURV radio on the air all the time. You hear all the announcements from the Harlingen Economic Development Corporation. Orlando Campos, Orly, joining me right now. My brother, thank you so much for making time to come over here. I understand you're playing Uber today. You're doing the Uber thing at the airport. Quite a bit. Yeah. You're going to be picking up some of the folks participating, right, in the event today. Hey, come up to the microphone so we can hear you, brother. All right. So, status report, Harlingen Economic Development. Now, you are one of the co-sponsors for the event today.
Yes, we decided to partner up with iLinkUp. We thought it was a great opportunity to get in front of some of their members and focus on putting together a great program for them today, and also bringing that program here to Harlingen. And so we're going to have a full house, and so we're very excited to have been part of it.
I'm glad you mentioned full house. Folks, they're sold out. Look, I'm not on the radio here to make some noise to get you over here to buy a lunch plate and participate. They're sold out. So the next time you hear announcements, and I do interviews on KURV plenty of days before we actually have an event with iLinkUp. Next time, buy a plate early because we're sold out today. I'm not out here proposing you come out here and get that. So, status report from your office.
Sure.
I appreciate you joining us from time to time, giving us an update on the economy.
Absolutely, and I'm happy to be here. Yeah. It's been a very busy summer for us here in Harlingen. We've got quite a number of new prospects that we're working on that are interested in the community. And then we've also broke ground on the infrastructure, the roadways, as well as utilities of the industrial park at Roosevelt. So that is moving along nicely. We worked with the county on getting their participation in a TERJ extended so that we can move forward with a mixed-use development known as Project Organic. Okay. That will happen near the medical district. And so we've got a few more steps to do before we can actually break ground, but it seems very, very promising.
That TERS project that you mentioned near the medical center, it is medically related? Would I get more medical related business?
Well, it's located in near the medical district here in Harlingen, right between Valley Baptist and Harlingen Medical Center. And so it'll be a mixed-use development which will incorporate office spaces as well as some type of residential, new retail, hotels as well. I think that it will complement the entire area. There's a large parcel of land that has not been developed, and so we partnered up with the owners of that property. We own a few acres as well, and so we're very excited to finally be moving forward. I think that it will enhance the medical district with new restaurant establishments, and it will certainly provide new residential areas for doctors that they may be wanting to recruit or medical students as well.
I know folks who are in business and listen to KURV, many of them very familiar with the TERS concept, but it probably would be good to take about a minute to describe the acronym TERS and how it's supposed to spur investment and return of investment, all those things.
Sure. Well, a TERS basically stands for Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone. So this is an area that these are areas that communities will choose within their own district to try and spur economic development and growth in that area. Basically, the area, many times it's undeveloped or it's primed for redevelopment, has an established base of tax revenue, property tax revenue that it is creating for the communities. When the TERJ is established, they maintain that base. And so any incremental development or new developments that happen obviously increase the value of those properties and generate more tax revenue. Mm-hmm. So that increase in tax revenue goes back into the TERJ and is reinvested to...
All of it over a certain period of time, or a portion of it?
Well, it can be all of it or a portion.
What's the terms on that TERS near the medical center?
The city participates at 75%. The county will participate at 50%. So whatever incremental property tax revenue that is generated will go back to help develop the public infrastructure.
Are they
within
for
that
a
development.
fixed? I'm sorry to interrupt you. I should let you speak. Look, are they for a 15-year term, 30-year term, or are they all the same? Or
typically it'll run for about 10 years or so. It's not a new TERJ within Harlingen. It has existed for a number of years, and so the county's participation did not coincide with the city, so we wanted to align both taxing entities together. So the TERJ basically will run till 2035.
The Director of Economic Development for our city of Harlingen, Orlando Campos, is my guest, and their office, one of the sponsors, many sponsors, we're bringing this Institute for Leadership in Capital Projects. Link Up is the acronym, and this Valley chapter having a meeting today to talk about infrastructure, workforce issues. On the infrastructure side, water and power, power and water. Some of the headlines from Harlingen of late related to data centers, looking for a place to land. And of course, you've made some headlines in Harlingen of the potential site, maybe outside the city. What can you tell us about any potential data center coming to the area?
Yeah. Well, we know that several of them are sort of kicking the tires and looking at the area. I think that it was inevitable for data center developers and companies to look at the Rio Grande Valley as a possible option for expansion. Unfortunately, they're not, or depending on how you see it, fortunately, they're not located within the city limits of Harlingen. Obviously, we've met with a few developers who expressed interest. We have not provided any incentive offers, and because they are located outside the city limits, it makes it a little bit more difficult for the city to regulate those developments.
If a data center were to choose outside of Harlingen or outside of Brownsville, where once a data center lands, what does that mean for the value, taxation, job creation? What type of economic effect does a data center have?
Well, depending on its size, a data center can run anywhere between hundreds of millions of dollars as well, or even billions of dollars in capital investment. Obviously, the taxing entities within the jurisdictions, so wherever they look at, will benefit tremendously by the increase in property and property tax revenue because of this investment. We know that they consume staggering amounts of electricity and water as well. Electricity simply because these are large server farms, if you will, that require quite a bit of electricity to maintain the cool atmosphere within the structures themselves, and also to ensure that the servers operate 24/7. Water is needed because of the cooling systems that many of these data centers require to maintain their air conditioning cool enough. They vary in terms of the amount of utilities as water that would be developed, but at the same time, they generate a few jobs as well. It's not hundreds or thousands of jobs, but it certainly starts generating high-tech type positions within the community itself. And then because of the infrastructure, utilities, and water that is needed, obviously that starts enhancing the availability and capacity of power for the areas that they establish. And in turn, this helps communities seek out other type of industries that might be a good fit for those areas.
Orlando Campos, President, Harlingen Economic Development, one of several sponsors, bringing the Institute for Leadership in Capital Projects, their luncheon today, to talk about infrastructure, yes, power and water, and workforce issues. RGV lead and Ms. Mari De Leon, she's also one of the supporters for the event and our broadcast. We're broadcasting from the Harlingen Convention Center. It is a sold-out event. If you are an engineer, a contractor, you got a fleet, you're in any type of business that designs and constructs any type of structure, you need to join the folks at Link Up and lock arms to make sure that it's the local talent, the drafters and folks in construction that are the ones that are getting the jobs. And we got plenty of those construction jobs on the way, looking at the investment that's taking place, the infusion, the billions of dollars in investment coming to the Valley. What type of effects are you seeing now that, Brownsville's right next door? We're neighbors. We're connected at the hip here. What type of economic runoff are you seeing from the thousands of jobs that Elon is creating at Starbase, the Port of Brownsville with all the projects they have there? What type of economic effect do you see now in Harlingen?
I think that we're very fortunate to be within close proximity to the Port of Brownsville as well as Starbase. Right now, what we're seeing is that a lot of individuals that are coming to work for those companies are choosing to live here in Harlingen. I think that once you stray away from the expressway here within the community and go either north or south, you start seeing new neighborhoods starting to pop up.
Yeah.
And so we're definitely benefiting by the rooftops that are coming to the community. Obviously, that begins to help us in terms of being able to recruit new retail and restaurants. So we've got quite a bit of interest in that market as well.
Let me pay bills for a couple of minutes, send it back to the mothership. And can you stick around for about 5 more minutes?
Absolutely.
Well, here we go. That's Orlando Campos. He's the director of Harlingen Economic Development. We're broadcasting from the beautiful Harlingen Convention Center today at noon. The Institute for Leadership and Capital Projects holding their lunch and talking about infrastructure and workforce issues. These are salient, very relevant conversations that you should be a part of. Join the Institute for Leadership and Capital Projects. ILinkUp is their acronym. If you're in any type of business, you draft, you're an engineer, architect, you're construction, you should be part of that group. They have these conversations, I think, más o menos like on a quarterly basis, and they touch issues that are relevant to the development of the economy, the development of industry. Yes, I know you guys compete with each other, but you need to lock arms and get the information you need so that we all in unison can grab the jobs locally and be successful in the growth of the valley. Because like it or not, it's coming, Vato. Billions and billions and billions in capital infusion, jobs. So you ready for it? Yeah, we'll continue our conversation from the Harlingen Convention Center at ILinkUp's luncheon today. Again, from Harlingen Convention Center, this is the Sergio Show.
It's fighting Texas Aggies football. Tune in for the 2026 home opener, Saturday, September 5th. Kickoff at 6 p.m.
It is a touchdown, Aggies!
On your home for Aggies football. News Talk 710 KURV. Gig 'em, Aggies!
The Thursday Sergio Show on the road at the Harlingen Convention Center, 9 to 11, with the Institute for Leadership and Capital Projects, ILinkUp. The show is a lead-in to the noon lunch and workshop focusing on powering Texas and regional growth with panel discussions on infrastructure, water, power, and workforce issues. This KURV Ambassador broadcast made possible by ERO Architects and RGV Lead.
Our mom accomplished so much in her life. She was a great mother, wife, and school teacher. She amazed so many. When we lost her, we were so very sad, but comforted that she had pre-planned her funeral with the fine people at McCaleb Funeral Home. A live celebration would tell her big story.
Hi, I am Carla McCaleb. Along with my husband Mark and our caring staff, we know we are in the healing business because we hear it from families we serve. Please read our reviews about our life celebrations and fair and transparent prices for unmatched service and how we lift people up with our healing care and compassion, celebrating life since 1963.
The Valley's only life celebration home. To learn more about the choices you can make now so a future funeral becomes more of a celebration of life, call Carla at 956-650-2841, 956-650-2841, or visit their website, McCalebFuneralHome.com. Hair volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Thank you, Harlingen, and thank you, Rio Grande Valley, for listening today to News Talk 710 KURV, the Valley's official home for Fox News Radio.
Time is 9:23. The Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV. The pulse of the 956. I want to say thank you to Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing. ChamberlainLTD.com. They keep the show at least the first hour of the show on the radio and online too, every day. Thank you, Chamberlain. Love you guys. Now, we are also broadcasting as we have for several years now. And I thank you for taking the time to say hello and tell us you're viewing and watching the videos. We're on Facebook Live, X, and YouTube Live. And LinkedIn someday will realize they need to do live programming too. But in the meantime, they got producer Joe and producer Zach. They're the ones that are chopping up videos like this, putting it on LinkedIn. So join us there and engage, comment. You're welcome to join us there as well. Orlando Campos is the director of the Harlingen Economic Development Office. I truly appreciate Orly for having the discipline and continually messaging on talk radio because we pretty much reach the business audience all the time. And speaking of business, there are a couple of programs that are coming up that I hope you can shine a light on right now. It's like a funding competition. Last time you and I spoke, you were telling me it's like a Shark Tank type of competition for money, some businesses. Yes. So tell me about the Sharks. Tell me about the Shark Tank.
Sure. Well, we've just launched the third annual Rise Up Harlingen Pitch Competition. Okay. So we've partnered up with UTRGV in putting together an accelerator program, which will run for about 10 weeks or so. And so basically an accelerator is a very intense program that individuals who participate will have one-on-one meetings with UTRGV as well as business mentors to help strengthen their business model. Okay. The companies that successfully complete that accelerator program have an opportunity to participate in the actual pitch competition, which will be held October 1st here at the Harlingen Convention Center. So there will be 3 winners that will be selected. They will have an opportunity to tap into the $65,000 that has been provided for the winner. So the first place winner has an opportunity to receive $35,000. Second place winner, $20,000, and third place winner, $15,000.
That's pretty good.
So this is our way of helping to support the entrepreneurs as well as new business startups here within the community to provide them with some much needed capital so that they can scale their business and grow even more here within the community.
And you've got your batch, right? Of businesses already, like a dozen or?
Yeah, we've got, right now we have 10 businesses representing a diverse business sectors that are going through the accelerator right now. We received over 40 applications. Unfortunately, we only had 10 slots available.
How did you determine? First come, first serve, or how did that
No,
work?
not at all. Basically, there was an application process. And so we had a committee that was established of not just EDC staff, but basically board members from the EDC. Okay. A lot of these individuals from our board that participated are seasoned entrepreneurs themselves who run very successful businesses. And then we had representation from UTRGV as well. We had a lot of great applicants. It was a very difficult decision to make, but we looked at their business, the potential of them being able to scale in the future, as well as the potential economic benefits that they would have here within the community.
You were able, through the committee, to mix
Yes.
hospitality, restaurant. We got people in light manufacturing, whatever it is, educational. So you were able to mix up the group of 10 that you had.
Yes.
Again, 3 will win some money. You said October 1st?
October 1st will be the pitch competition.
Okay.
Yes.
And then afterwards you have a lunch or dinner.
Yeah, we'll have a small reception for them here. It'll be open to the public as well.
Every now and then I hear you mention the Kaufman Fast Track. Okay, so explain to me that program.
Sure. Kaufman Fast Track is another program that we also sponsor, and we partner up with UTRGV. And so that program is also runs for 10 weeks. We host 2 of those programs annually here in Harlingen. This program is a little bit less intense than the accelerator. It works with companies or individuals that might have an idea for a business, and it helps them build up their business plan, and also helps small businesses who have barely started strengthen their business plan so that they can be successful. The first 5 years of any business startup is very critical. Obviously, about 80% of businesses fail within those 5 years. And the huge reason for that is because they don't have the knowledge. They have the passion for what they do, but sometimes they lack the knowledge that is needed to run a business.
And I've heard that metrics, 30 years of broadcasting, every year from the SBA to Chambers of Commerce to EDC offices, it's a national figure. It's a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 small businesses. Yeah, they don't last that long. You're hoping, well, the Kaufman Fast Track program hopes to make a dent in that. So Kaufman Fast Track in nascent and developing businesses, and the other pitch competition, established businesses in the area. Do you see perhaps industry evolving here where it will complement the major stuff that's taking place at the port, like any plastic injection, metal stamping, things like that? Right?
Absolutely. I mean, the type of projects that are being created here in our region, especially at the Port of Browns and also SpaceX, these are original equipment manufacturers. And so obviously they rely on quite a number of suppliers to provide them with the products and components that go within the final assembly of what they are manufacturing. So we know of a few local companies that have contracts with SpaceX and are already working with them. As a company continues to grow and expand, obviously that creates the need for more suppliers. So we're fortunate that we're close enough that we can be a strong option for future suppliers, not just for SpaceX, but also for the new boat manufacturer that's coming to the Port of Brownsville. And so we think that the future is very, very bright. We're aligning the city to be able to take advantage a lot of this growth that's coming down the road through the development of a new industrial park. We still have some existing industrial land available at the Harlingen Industrial Park. And so we're basically looking at the future of how we can take advantage of some of that future growth.
Dude, that phone must be ringing off the hook for you.
Yeah.
You and Gilbert Salinas, the director for Brownsville Economic Development, you guys probably spending a lot of time on the phone. Hey, we got this, we got that. Maybe come in, can you put it in this park, put it in that park?
Well, we've known each other for many, many years. Well, before either of us came on board, we actually worked together in Brownsville for just a few months before I left and moved up to North Texas. But we maintained that communication and collaboration, and so we're good friends. I think that the relationship now is sort of frenemies in the sense that we're friends, but when it comes down to working projects, it's like each of us put our best foot forward.
Bring it. That's right. You guys need to lock arms and bring it down here. You had mentioned we were talking a little earlier about data centers, and they're fishing around for an area. Texas will do it right, I'm convinced, with making sure that the data centers get their water, recycle their own water, and generate their own power.
Yeah.
That way they don't mess up on it.
Yeah, and we're paying close attention at what's being done statewide, simply because this isn't, it's not just the Valley that has companies sort of kicking the tires. It's basically throughout the entire state of Texas.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, there are groups that are very opposed to those type of projects and have become very, very noisy in terms of having their opinions heard. For politicians, obviously, these are individuals that vote, so they have to pay attention to them. At the same time, we've also heard from quite a number of individuals that are in support of those projects. So we're keeping an open mind, listening to both sides of groups, and then we're also paying very close attention at what will be decided at the state level, because I think that ultimately those type of industries will be regulated at the state of Texas with the mindset of the concerns that residents have.
And there are some that are setting the example. I mean, Governor Abbott, as an example, he's been out there saying, okay, we need to take inventory of what they're doing, their water, their energy, but some that are already opening up that have their water, recycle their water, and producing energy. So we can do it right. There's no reason to be absolutely ignorant and militant about it. You just need good citizens, be watchful, be mindful, and because they can't afford it. The data centers can't afford their own water and power generation. We just need to make sure if they're going to show up, maybe a little bit away from the neighborhood, make some noise over there, some lights over there.
Yeah.
We can. We have the land. We have the space for that. We can benefit financially.
Yeah. I mean, we understand both sides as well. From an economic development standpoint, obviously we can't undermine the potential economic benefit to the region, not just from an investment side, but also how they can help increase the infrastructure and improve the infrastructure here within our region that other type of industries can benefit from.
And it's important to remember it's a national security issue as well.
Absolutely.
If they don't set up here, they set up in China. Let me remind you, we sure as hell don't want them setting up in China. We don't want that. Everything from self-driving vehicles, self-driving 18-wheelers, robots, you name it. Anything that is AI-powered now and in the future will be run by these darn things. We need that. Texas will likely be the leader in data centers. We just need to make sure we do it right. And we can benefit from the tax and as you mentioned, some jobs. TSTC.
Yes.
TSTC, I did an interview with them a few days back. They got this new curriculum teaching people to work those careers, those permanent jobs inside the data centers that are tweaking and working with the computers and the machines.
Yeah. They've got training programs in place already that they can basically transfer to any other campuses throughout the state.
Anything else you need to mention that I forgot on your calendar?
Well, we spoke about the Rise Up Harlingen pitch competition, but shortly thereafter we'll be launching a new Kaufman fast track program, I believe starting in either November or December.
All right.
And we've partnered up with UTRGV. But we encourage anyone that is interested in these type of programs or staying up to date on what's happening here in Harlingen to follow us on our social media platforms.
Come on back. And a few days before you open it up, that way you can invite folks who have an idea of a business that way hopefully they can participate.
Absolutely.
In that program. Orly, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting KURV. Thank you for supporting this awesome event today with that link up as well. Okay. He's now going to leave the program. He's going to be Mr. Uber or Lyft. He's picking up folks who are participating on this thing today. That's Orlando Campos. He's the Harlingen Economic Development Director. And we are in Harlingen at the Convention Center at the Institute for Leadership and Capital Conference. Just shining a light on this awesome event today. Conversations related to infrastructure, water, and power, and workforce. It's a sold-out event. Okay, we're just shining a light on this awesome conversation and having a few teaser conversations about issues related to infrastructure. Up next is my friend Maricela De Leon with RGV Live, and we'll talk workforce issues next on the Sergio Show, 710 KURV.
That sound? A melon field at dawn. It's where Monica de la Cruz's abuelo worked to feed his family. That's a steam press in the back of a dry cleaner's. That's where Monica pressed shirts, working her way through college, and eventually a small business of her own. But today, the American dream costs more. Monica's fighting back. Our voice in Congress, Monica de la Cruz voted to end the tax on tips, passed no tax on overtime, and made sure seniors keep more of their Social Security. For a South Texas family, that's up to $11,000 a year back in your pocket. More dinners out, more celebrations, more moments together. Monica de la Cruz, fighting in Congress for our American dream.
I'm Monica de la Cruz, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Monica for Congress.
Are you in the market for a new Toyota or pre-owned Toyota? Look no further than Toyota Afar. They have extensive selection of Toyota cars and Toyota trucks and Toyota SUVs, along with exceptional customer service every step of the way. Number to call, 956-815-2285. The Thursday Sergio Show on the road at the Harlingen Convention Center, 9 to 11, with the Institute for Leadership and Capital Projects. I Link Up. The show is a lead-in to the noon lunch and workshop focusing on powering Texas and regional growth, with panel discussions on infrastructure, water, power, and workforce issues. This KURV Ambassador broadcast made possible by ERO Architects and RGV Lead. Don't forget to make the call to Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing as a property manager and property owner, all these commercial roofing systems that you really do need to get checked. That roofing system, if it fails and allows water to come down at you or come down on your customers and expensive equipment, it's going to shut you down for quite a bit of time. And all that means it's money, cha-ching is gone, washed away because of that water that came in. And it takes time to make a repair to a commercial roofing system. Why don't you make the call to absolutely the top commercial roofing outfit in this entire region with almost 130 years of experience. What they do is in the name, waterproofing, Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing, and they want to meet you. And I thank Chamberlain for allowing me to communicate this to you. You call them, text them, that number that I'm going to give you. You can text them, say, hey, Sergio was talking about you. Come and check my commercial roofs, all of my buildings. And that way they can do one by one, give you a truly professional expert report. What they see is going on up there. If you're in good shape, there's nothing wrong. These folks are godly people, family-oriented business. They're honest. They'll tell you, hey, you're in good shape. Call us back in 2 years or something like that. Allow Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing to check your commercial roofing systems for free at 956-655-6178.
With the Discover Cashback Card, earn 5% cash back at different categories each quarter on up to $1,500 in purchases. It pays to Discover. Terms apply. See discover.com/5 for details.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Key reading on inflation focused on prices. The wholesale level is out this morning.
The Producer Price Index for July suggests inflation remained tame at the wholesale level. The PPI was flat after a decline in June, reflecting lower energy prices, though oil and gasoline prices were elevated in July.
Fox's Ginny Casola. U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee says the U.S. Embassy stepped in, rejecting claims the U.S. did nothing when a Palestinian family was harassed in a West Bank settlement. He called those responsible Israeli terrorists. The Fox weather forecast calls for clearing today in Des Moines for day one of the Iowa State Fair.
This year, we've got a brand new exhibit under the grandstand about America 250, so lots of things for you to see and do.
Jeremy Parsons, CEO of the fair. And don't forget to check out the 600-pound butter cow. America's listening to Fox News.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast, mostly sunny and hot today. Highs in the upper 90s to 105 with the southeast winds 15 to 25 miles an hour. Breezy this evening, mainly clear and humid. Lows only dropping into the lower 80s. The southeast wind still at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Becoming windier with clouds and sun. A spotty afternoon thunderstorm Friday. Highs in the upper 90s to near 105. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Catarina on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez. Rapid fire headlines.
Today's program brought from the beautiful Harlingen Convention Center. We're here with the good folks from the Institute for Leadership and Capital Projects. They have a big luncheon today. They'll be talking about infrastructure and workforce issues. Meantime, let's catch up to speed with some of the top news of the morning. We had the folks from D.C. in town doing an inspection of that sterile fly facility that is in Edinburgh. $750 million sterile fly factory in Edinburgh at Moore Air Base. It might be opening up early. We had folks from D.C., including Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins, saying that things are going pretty fast, and we might see that facility open up in April. They can't open up that sucker fast enough because we got the New World screwworm in the area already. Accusations of favoritism provided to our neighbor, Elon Musk, and his internet program, the Starlink program, leading the Texas Department of Broadband Development to temporarily halt operations as you have some Democrats complaining.
The Broadband Development Office has been the target of state lawmakers since State Senator Charles Schwartner called out Director Bryant Clayton in June.
I have my eye on y'all regarding the way y'all are conducting your business. And I don't care who's messing with your business, but we as an oversight committee are going to oversee it regarding fairness and transparency.
The agency is accused of offering sweetheart deals to communities that sign up for Elon Musk's Starlink low Earth satellite system. Clayton was asked who directed them to rework the grant process.
The Office of the Governor asked us to look at how our proposed structure compared to others.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has called for an audit of the BDO.
In Austin, Chris Fox, News Talk 710 KURV.
Gang at City Hall, Weslaco, asking residents to please be patient. They're working on several repairs to water line breaks in the area. And I suppose on this medical note, an experimental GLP-1 showing great promise might be going to market.
Researchers at Northwestern Medicine found a daily pill called alenagripin helped folks who are obese or overweight lose more than 12% of their body weight in 36 weeks. The trial is published in Nature Medicine. Co-author of the study, Robert Kushner, says the pill could be a solution for some because it can be easier to mass produce as opposed to other GLP-1 injectable drugs like Wegovy and Ozempic. There's going to be more evaluation of the pill's effectiveness in another upcoming trial. I'm Scott Pringle.
The Sergio Show on 710 KURV. Hour one made possible by Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing. We're broadcasting this morning from the Harlingen Convention Center here with the Institute for Leadership and Capital Projects. They have a noontime lunch that is sold out. We're here to shine a light on the event, not to invite you to lunch. Catch the next bus, okay? Catch the next one. Be a part of it. Infrastructure, water, power, other issues related to infrastructure, and workforce issues. They'll be talked about in two separate panels today. And I have a dear friend, patriot, my friend Maricela De Leon with RGV Lead, who's with me now. And thank you for your support, getting us over here to Harlingen as well to participate today. So you are part of a panel participating on workforce issues. We'll touch on that again. But again, for folks working for a living that are driving around town, tuning into the radio, they hear RGV Lead. Okay, what is that, Mari?
So RGV Lead is Rio Grande Valley linking economic and academic development. And we are a nonprofit organization that has been focusing on assisting and enhancing the support of regional school districts' career and technical education programs in the region for the last 33 years. Directly through student leadership programs, workshops, and teacher externships, pretty much just fostering a wonderful opportunity for students as they prepare for life.
How does the connection between industry and education, between these jobs, potential jobs, and positions, and some of the training or exposure, like get some of these kids get their hands dirty, how does that connection happen? I know you're working with some school districts.
Yes. So the way it works is we work with regional school districts who have an MOA with RGV Lead. That's a regional, a memorandum of agreement. And the way we work or connect them, link them with industry is that we have an industry council made up of committee members that are our advocates within business and industry. So they identify what their needs are specific to, for example, construction and architecture. That's a program of study currently right now in schools that students can pick. And they tell us these are some of the issues we're finding. We're needing some talent. We go ahead and create that workforce pipeline through an initiative, and we bring that awareness to our school districts who do have an architecture and construction program. And they have students who enter that from grades 9 through 12. So they got level 1, level 2, level 3, and 4, which are your 11th and 12th graders. They get to enter the industry practicum. So they get the hands-on workforce experience. And so because we've already identified what the needs are for industry, we go ahead and we connect them and our member districts through a workforce pipeline initiative that's geared specific to those students. The goal is to ensure that our graduating seniors have a career plan upon graduation. And we're very intentional in that programming when we're interacting with our school districts and their leadership and our industry partners as well.
Construction, man, I mean, you guys out there tuning in can imagine off the chart demand right now to get our kids trained as quickly as possible. We'll go out there and start swinging away those hammers because there's so much demand in the rapidly expanding economy. But construction is just one. And when in construction, there are, of course, all the branches of plumbing and the electrical, air conditioning systems, the ones that lay the slab, the foundation. There's so many different chores that are related to this. But that's just like one field. You got nursing and medical. You got AI, computer, cybersecurity, so many different. Is there a particular, very specific, almost exclusive focus on construction right now? Or do you provide the whole spectrum of potential training, depending on the school district?
It's depending on the school district. So right now, school districts have a total of 12 programs of study. Okay. And that's beginning from the health sciences, business marketing and finance, and architecture and construction and finance. Through our recently biannual labor market report, we identified that those were the high demand industries currently in the Rio Grande Valley. But aside from those, we also have logistics and transportation where there is a high demand. There's no program of study necessarily aligned with that for our students, but we also make sure that we are engaging with that industry to see how we're able to help them in facilitating a workforce to fill that gap. And we work with our higher ed partners who have those specific programs in their schools already.
How many school districts are working with you at RGV Lead to get these kids in the pipeline?
So last year, we ended the year with 20. Okay. This year, the school year is just starting, but we already have commitments from 12. And it's a wonderful, at least for me, I get excited about these things, right? The goal is to recruit all school districts in Region 1, which there are about 45. Some of those also are outside of our service area, which is Hidalgo County, Cameron County, Stark County, and Willacy. That's who we primarily service. However, because we recognize there is a huge need, and Region 1 does also encompass Jim Hogg County, Brooks County. We want to be able to include them and those students. So we're starting to engage in those conversations with them. But last year we ended with 20. Right now we have 11. The goal in Region 1 within our counties is 32 school districts. And we just recently got notice of San Isidro joining. We got San Benito. We have Wesco. We have Edinburgh. We have Harlingen's returning. They've been with us for a very long time, and we're so excited with our workforce pipeline initiatives that we have going on here in Cameron County. When you're someone who just loves education and really wants to prepare our students for success, working with these CTE directors, their instructors, and the superintendents who really believe in the efforts of what we do as an organization, it just really aligns and provides the synergy that's needed to be able to produce the qualified talent for the area.
Maricela De Leon is the director for RGV Lead. This institution has been in the Valley trying to connect institutions of learning or school districts or colleges, trying to connect them with our kids, trying to get the skill set curriculum provided. So with industry, in cooperation with industry, get them fed into those jobs. And you can imagine with the way things are going now in the Valley, RGV Lead needs to put their efforts in the school districts and Region 1 and industries who need workers, they got to put this partnership on steroids.
Yes.
And that's why you're telling me you definitely need, it would be nice to get every school district in Region 1 participating. But, as you were telling me that, I was thinking not every school district has a CTE, a career technology, which are those jobs, for example, I was mentioning the from pipe fitters to welders to folks in electricians, plumbers, all those career the air conditioner people as well, right? Not all school districts have that, and we need that desperately right now. So anyone with that type of career technology training, they definitely need to work with RGV Lead, because you're working with some in industry that are saying, feed me people, send me people to work with us side by side.
So what we really do also is that majority of the schools do have a CTA component. Actually, not all school districts. 29% of Region 1 have a CTE component in their districts. Yes. And we also do student leadership workshops. We provide those soft skills that are needed. Industry has told us, it's great that students are going to be graduating. However, we do need them to know how to communicate, how to answer telephone. That's honestly the most basic of what we can do in facilitating student success outside of the classroom as they enter the workforce, because that seems to still be a problem that is existing within industry. And we are making sure that we're doing our part to help our regional school districts in that respect. And so we're getting ready on October 1st to be hosting our first fall leadership workshop. And we're going to be very intentional in how we're connecting those students through career orientation, preparation, and just education and awareness. Majority of them really don't know. Some students have mentioned to me before, they say, Miss, they give us a sheet and they tell us to select a program. We don't know, we just check it off. And by the time they go into 10th and 11th grade, they're kind of like, well, I don't think that's really what I want to do. This is actually what I'm liking now. But they've just somewhat wasted 2 to 3 years of their high school career.
Yeah, we need to do a better job of that.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But we're helping, we're listening. The districts tell us, help us to engage, and that's what we're doing.
More power to you, Mari. You and like-minded nonprofits and organizations that are trying to create those channels of employment. I wasn't texting. I was doing research. 420,000 huercos in Region 1. Region 1 services 420,000 students. Of course, a portion of them, divided by fourths, I suppose. You got elementary, you got middle school, you got high school, and other kids going to college. But you can see how maybe, just if you want to go with a top fourth of it, maybe 100,000 would be in the middle school age or high school age that need proper guidance and direction to choose either an academic career in engineering or medicine or AI or something like that, or get the skill set to sop up those jobs and make money now, because the Valley economy is exploding in growth, and we appreciate your role in it. And again, Mari's participating today in the workforce panel, workforce discussions, institutes, leadership and capital projects. The Sergio Show on 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Harlingen Convention Center.
Freedom is calling, and the savings are bigger than ever at the Toyota Far Freedom Sales Event. Drive home an all-new Tacoma for just $92 a month, a powerful Tundra for $177 a month, a stylish Camry for only $92 a month, or a versatile RAV4 for just $189 a month. Visit Toyota Far at 1625 West Interstate 2 in Far. Shop online at toyotafar.com or call 956-815-2285.
Toyota Far, somos buena gente.
Hi, this is Congresswoman Monica De La Cruz. Are you having difficulty getting answers from federal agencies? My office is here to help. Call us at 956-800-6069 to share your issue, and we will be in touch. Team Dela Cruz is here to serve you. God bless. Paid for with official funds from the office of Congresswoman Dela Cruz.
Are you in the market for a new Toyota or pre-owned Toyota? Look no further than Toyota of Far. They have extensive selection of Toyota cars and Toyota trucks and Toyota SUVs, along with exceptional customer service every step of the way. Number to call, 956-815-2285.
Heartburn. Quick, Alka-Seltzer, because nothing is worse than heartburn after a long day. When you're finally off the clock, dinner's done, feet kicked up, kids asleep, and boom, heartburn tries to steal the moment. Quick, Alka-Seltzer, because nothing works faster for heartburn relief. The effervescent tablets start neutralizing acid in seconds, so you can sit back, relax, and unwind from your day. Next time heartburn hits,
quick, Alka-Seltzer.
Use as directed.
History is unfolding, and you're listening to it on News Talk 710 KURV, Edinburgh, McAllen, Harlingen, Brownsville.
It has Democrats even more upset at ICE. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. A Homeland Security plan to provide immigration officers with electric shock gloves next year. The ACLU calls that a recipe for public harm. New York Attorney General Letitia James says if anyone in her state is injured by those gloves,
obviously there will be a private right of action as well as action from the state of New York. You can best be assured of that.
But Borders' our Tom Homan tells Fox it's a needed tool amid all the anti-ICE protests and anger over immigration raids.
You've seen the videos in the past year and a half, the fights on the street where officers are overwhelmed. This would be a tool they can use to make someone compliant.
The glove, or generated low output voltage emitter, is designed to deliver a pain stimulus up to 380 volts. The Kentucky company that makes it, Compliant Technologies, says it can help an officer gain compliance in seconds.
Fox's Mike Tobin. Iran's again insisting it controls the Strait of Hormuz. The day after President Trump again claimed the U.S. controls the waterway, Iran's Joint Military Command vows no ship can go through without permission.
The focus on Iran comes as we're also tracking developments between Israel and Lebanon. Talks are set to resume in September in Rome, aimed at normalizing ties between the two countries and disarming Iran-backed Hezbollah. Still, details have to be worked out about proposed security zones.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. In the West Bank, Israel's military remains in conflict with Jewish settlers. The U.S. ambassador calls them terrorists for a conflict with some Palestinians surrounding their homes, trapping them inside, cutting off water and electricity. One Palestinian man trapped for days did get out today with the help of Israeli soldiers. As the Russia and Ukraine war continues, Poland's prime minister says they've thwarted a Russian plot to kill a Ukrainian-American citizen in Warsaw. A tropical storm is just formed in the Pacific named Lala, and by this weekend it could hit Hawaii.
People are preparing for what could be another, perhaps, landfall, whether tropical storm or hurricane.
Fox Weather's Craig Herrera. America's listening to Fox News.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
While the U.S. and Iran remain in a standoff over the Strait of Hormuz, American forces remain on standby in case President Trump orders another round of bombing. And 2 Senate Democrats are worried about some of those troops in the region.
Both U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut and Senator Ruben Gallego of Arizona are now demanding answers from Pentagon officials about the lengthy deployment of the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln. They're both raising concerns about living conditions aboard ship following 250 consecutive days at sea with repeat activities in the Iran war. The senators' demands come after a report in the Pentagon-operated newspaper Stars and Stripes quoting family members of sailors expressing concerns over living conditions and mental health. Eben Brown, Fox News.
We got this update to the economy this morning.
Readings for prices at the wholesale level are better than expected. The producer price index for July suggests inflation remained tame at the wholesale level. The PPI was flat.
Fox's Ginny Casola, the annual wholesale inflation rate also went down from June to 4.7%. It's been another record morning on Wall Street. The S&P 500 hit a new all-time high. It's now up 50 points. The Dow's gaining 75. The Nasdaq surging up 219 points. A baseball game tonight will look like something out of a movie.
For the first time in 4 years, Major League Baseball is back at the Field of Dreams, as tonight the Philadelphia Phillies take on the Minnesota Twins in Dyersville, Iowa. Both teams enter this contest in second place in their respective divisions, trying to cling on to a wild card spot as the playoffs are fast approaching. It's the third edition of the Field of Dreams game. The stadium is built on the site of the 1989 Classic starring Kevin Costner, with cornfields seen for miles beyond the outfield fence.
That's Tony Genualdo. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Our riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at progressive.com.
Your 710 KURV accurate the forecast, mostly sunny and hot today. Highs in the upper 90s to 105 with the southeast winds 15 to 25 miles an hour. Breezy this evening, mainly clear and humid. Lows only dropping into the lower 80s. The southeast wind still at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Becoming windier with clouds and sun. A spotty afternoon thunderstorm Friday. Highs in the upper 90s to near 105. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Catarina on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
Hi, this is Congresswoman Monica De La Cruz. Are you having difficulty getting answers from federal agencies? My office is here to help. Call us at 956-800-6069 to share your issue, and we will be in touch. Team De La Cruz is here to serve you. God bless. Paid for with official funds from the office of Congresswoman De La Cruz.
The best gun show in Texas is coming. The Saxet Gun Show. This Saturday and Sunday at the McAllen Convention Center. Buy, sell, or trade. The Saxet Gun Show has everything. Guns, knives, military, and every caliber of ammo you can possibly need. Doors open at 9 a.m. this weekend. For more info, go to saxetshows.com. It's the Saxet Gun Show at the McAllen Convention Center this Saturday and Sunday. You better be there.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. From the Radio United Broadcast Center, this is the Sergio Show. Talking about the news headlines and topics that affect you. And now, the Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez.
As I like to say, from the land of liberty and opportunity. Liberty, well, that's USA. Land of the market, the free market, capitalism. It takes money to make money. It takes making money to pay the bills. And it takes making money to shave that golden egg from the golden goose to pay for all these, some would say, necessary government programs. Okay. There's a lot of silliness out there where the government should be doing, but either way, you don't make money, no one gets paid. We don't make money, we don't grow the market, we don't create jobs, no one gets paid around here. Everybody's on welfare and government dependence, and it's all deficit spending. It's already deficit spending. Welcome to hour 2 of the program, the Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV. This hour made possible by South Texas Buick GMC. Big thank you as well to Lone Star National Bank. We're here in Harlingen at the real pretty Harlingen Convention Center at noontime today. Actually, a little bit before noontime at 11 a.m., the Institute for Leadership in Capital Projects is having their latest powwow with folks on the front lines of industry that are developing the new structures, the new buildings, the new warehouses, laying out the slab out there. First of all, designing all these new places, whether it's government or private sector. Yeah, the capital projects in the area. And anybody involved in that, you're either drafting it, as an architect, or you're an engineer, or you're putting things together. You're the folks in construction put together that Lego set and creating all those buildings in the area. Yes, they're all competitors. They're meeting today here at the Harlingen Convention Center. But it is the local talent that we shine a light on, which, by the way, I'm just here to shine a light on this awesome gathering today. I'm not here inviting you to come to lunch. It's a sold-out event. So, catch the next one. It's the Institute for Leadership in Capital Projects. And as we're broadcasting the Sergio Show from the Harlingen Convention Center, we are on Facebook and YouTube and X Live. And I say that because the most useful feature of us being live and on video is you get to do you do rewind. ¿Qué dijo? What's the name of that thing that I need to belong to? Yeah, you do the rewind and go catch it. It's the Institute for Leadership in Capital Projects. I link up. Their lunch today is focusing on infrastructure, focusing on the most relevant and salient issues. Right now, it's the debate, the argument, the focus on resources, water, and power. That's going to get a good go. We got people from state public utility. We got folks from AEP. We got water experts on that panel looking at the resources and how we need to perhaps properly regulate the use of those resources. Look, I know there's a lot of Chicken Little mentality out there, and a lot of very just downright dumb individuals. And so that's what social media is. It dumbs down our society. But if you pay attention to the realities of business, the realities of investment, the reality in the Rio Grande Valley economy, of the multiple billions of dollars being spent, and you balance that with the requests from industries such as data centers. Data centers are getting a bad rap because, as I call them, the Chicken Little mindset out there, just scaring everybody. Oh, it's a data center. Oh, it's the end of the world. No, it's not. Pay attention, boy. I'm reminding you like Foghorn Leghorn. Data centers that must, for national security reasons, must be established, must be set up in the United States of America. Data centers will be running everything from the self-driving taxis to the self-driving 18-wheelers to all the robots that Elon Musk is preparing out there, which, his data center and chip manufacturer in Northwest Houston, the largest in the world, is doing it right. Get your own water, recycle your own water, and generate your own power. And when you have a little bit of extra juice, put it on the Texas power grid for Texas. They can do it for Texas consumers to benefit. They can generate their own power. They can buy their own water and recycle their own water. Ain't no need for these Chicken Little, scare tactics online. Oh, we need to say no. We need to fight. Si se puede. We scared them away. No, you didn't. Texas has 450 data centers. We got 150 more on the way, and we will be the leader of the nation. We will pass Virginia in the number of data centers. We just need to do it right and get the payoff. The billions in tax generation and the cumulatively speaking, hundreds and hundreds and potentially thousands of jobs that are very well-paying jobs, people that are tweaking and taking care of those data centers. TSTC here down the street has a program to teach those gigs, high-paying six-figure salaries to take care of data centers. Okay, off the soapbox. I need to focus on the Institute for Leadership in Capital Projects. I link up today, sold-out luncheon on infrastructure, water, power, and workforce issues in the envy of Texas, which is the Rio Grande Valley, and the multiple billions of dollars being spent by industry here, and our kids are the ones that need to sop up those jobs. Brian Godinez is one of the reasons that we're here. In fact, Brian Godinez, God bless you, Brian. I hope he's getting some rest right now. He's recovering. Brian, thank you for your vision. Thank you for all your projects. ERO Architects is the name of his company. But specifically, Brian has been the driving force in opening up this Rio Grande Valley chapter of ILINCA, the Institute for Leadership in Capital Projects, that brings together everybody on the front lines of designing and building and maintaining capital projects, buildings, new shopping centers, new courthouses, all those things. So you guys compete, but you need to know each other because we need the local talent. to get those jobs as the Valley economy expands. So pretty much Brian and a few friends, they're the driving force behind this effort today. And I had a chance to catch up with him, and I want to share that conversation with you right now as we're broadcasting from Harlingen. The Sergio Show on 710 KURV is made possible this hour by South Texas Buick GMC and Lone Star National Bank. News Talk 710 KURV, the Sergio Show, on location Harlingen with the Institute for Leadership in Capital Projects. I want to say thank you to our many supporters. Make it possible for us to be in Harlingen at this powwow, necessary, I would say, powwow. Architects and engineers and contractors and developers, and also folks in decision-making capacity, either in cities or counties, economic development. Big thank you to the Harlingen Economic Development. Thank you to RGV Lead as well. I want to say a special thank you to my guest right now from ERO Architects, my friend Brian Godinez. One of the reasons that we are in Harlingen at this Institute for Leadership in Capital Projects luncheon that is focusing on infrastructure and workforce issues. Let's start on the workforce issues, Brian. Welcome to the program, Brian. Thank you again for allowing us to be part of this special presentation. That
Absolutely.
Is, as I
Thank
said,
you for
necessary.
having me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
As I said, necessary. We need, I know they're competitors. We got architects and engineers and contractors that are all competing with each other for some business. We got plenty of business that is coming to South Texas. We need everybody to lock arms to make sure that our companies are the ones that get that. And for that, we need workforce training, workforce, hire local as well. So touch on that a little bit, on this vision, initiative, push, especially here in Rioplex in South Texas, northern Mexico, to hire local. We got plenty of jobs, plenty of projects coming, but we got to focus on hiring local. Let's start there.
I like the way Rioplex positions its membership and those that participate on the ongoing events at Rioplex, and they bring developers, investors on both sides of the border, and they've allowed architects, engineers, and contractors to be a part of their conversation in creating more awareness for how the opportunities here to grow are plentiful, and they promote, and they have done a great job, starting with Joaquin and of course Mario and all of the board. They've been promoting since day one the importance of why these developers, these investors, as well as public institutions and local entities, why it's important to hire our local brothers and sisters in architects, engineers, contractors, subcontractors. There's over 2,000 businesses in the Rio Grande Valley and the four-county area conducting business in the design build world. And we contribute to a economy that's close to $20 billion in this region. And so when a local entity is hired by anyone who's controlling the purse strings, whether it's coming through traditional financing or syndicate financing or private investment, when those checks are deposited in a local bank, that multiplier effect starts happening into our economy. Our local entities, our local organizations, specifically on the design build side, have many people who are property owners, who have their children in schools, who are out there spending money when they play, work, and enjoy the region. And that multiplier effect for every dollar that comes into a local bank and from our folks here locally has a huge economic swing for our region. When you hire people from out of area, that money leaves us and it doesn't grow. And so that's one side of it. The other side of it is it allows us, our local companies, to be able to grow our staff and be able to hire individuals who are graduating. There are over 150 associate architect degrees that come out of our schools here, our community colleges and our university. And they are ready to do work. They need internship. They need to get hours in for them to start their licensure experience. And so we all participate in that process, whether it's engineers or in the construction side. We want to build that local talent, and we want it to stay here and not leave.
That might be, for future projects, that might be something that I link up, again, the Institute for Leadership in Capital Projects, this organization and this chapter that you and friends have opened in South Texas, and we're working to make sure that it gets some roots and continues to network and grow. The whole transition from university to front lines of architectural of drafting, engineer jobs, and maybe that internship focus, like transition connection, might be a project worthwhile seeking from ILINCA to make sure that we get our medicals from the university or from the colleges and get them to side by side be in these people that are drafting the projects and putting out the concrete, all those things that are taking place right now and exponentially will be taking place in the near future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's important. The mission of iLinkUp and our local chapter is to create events and to create spaces for conversations to exist between the design build professionals and the decision makers who make the investment, whether it's public or private, into the buildings and the infrastructure, the horizontal infrastructure that exists in our region. All of them, we still need many, many more buildings and many, many more infrastructure fixes and growth for this. Well, this is the fastest growing region in the state of Texas right now. And so all of that requires public service facilities on the public side, and all of that requires infrastructure improvements on our drainage, on our roadways. And there are many, many, many local firms that are capable and talented enough to be able to do that. So the Institute, the iLinkUp, creates that space for that dialogue to occur between the decision makers and those that control the money and the design build world to come together in events like the one we're having today at the Harlingen Convention Center, and share ideas, best practices, what's coming up in capital projects, where are we on workforce development. And that's why we're excited about this event.
Brian Godinez from ERO Architects, the driving force, he and colleagues, friends that are pushing, establishing, landing this Institute for Leadership in Capital Projects. This is the next in several conversations, and timely, I would say, because of, energy concerns, water concerns. We've talked a little bit about workforce as well. But the panel discussions at the event today here at Harlingen at the Event Center today will deal with infrastructure and specifically water and power, from data centers to chip building to refinery, anything else. All these projects on the shipyard, that's going to need a lot of resources as well. A timely conversation on this. So tell me a bit about the panelists who's showing up and helping to toss around these very important topics that we need to talk about as the professionals on the front lines will help develop and construct some of these projects. Yeah.
Today at 11 o'clock at the Harlingen Convention Center is when the doors open. And we kick off with a keynote address from Mike Hoke, the Director of Public Engagement for the Public Utility Commission of Texas. As you know, they're the gatekeepers of our power grid and work directly with ERCOT. They don't have a lot of, because it's a deregulated industry, they don't have a lot of authority in terms of how electricity is charged or eventually gets to consumers. But they are responsible and are managing and working with our power grid. And so that conversation, finding out on the state level, regional level, and then how it impacts our Rio Grande Valley area, is going to be a great presentation. He'll be speaking for 10 minutes to talk about the latest information on what's going on with our power grid and how can we get more power, especially in the valley, with the growth that we're having here, with the interest in wanting to build more buildings. Data centers obviously is a hot topic, but advanced manufacturing facilities and warehouses and other types of facilities all require a tremendous amount of power. We shift from that to two panels, and this is the first time we've done this. We partnered with the Harlingen Economic Development Corporation, and we think this is going to be the template going forward for events like this with us, where we partner with a regional or local economic development corporation along the region. We are already in discussions to have 4 more over the next 6 months. Having them participate and then being able to have one panel focus on the capital projects as it relates to infrastructure is the first panel, which will be moderated by Beverly Loftus, who is the COO at the Harlingen Economic Development Corporation. And with her, she's going to have 4 individuals that represent different infrastructure sectors. Dale Fowler with AEP, Jerry Briones with the Greater Brownsville Incentive Corporation, who they were obviously responsible for the acquisition and bringing Saronic down here, which is going to be a huge economic boost for us, creating 10,000 jobs for the autonomous boat industry that they're going to be building over there at the port. Albert Escobedo, who is involved in the RGV desal initiative with water security and desalination, with those topics that he'll be bringing up. And then lastly, Javier Martinez with the Brownsville Public Utilities talking about municipal water and utility infrastructure. That focus, all of those individuals that Beverly's going to be moderating, is going to be our infrastructure ecosystem and how power, development, desalination, municipal utilities, and coordination across all dimensions occur in that environment in terms of challenges, opportunities, and where we're headed with requiring and or building the requirements for our infrastructure. That's the first panel. And then from there, we shift over to the workforce development panel. That's going to be moderated by Rafael Vela, who's Executive Director of the Workforce Solutions, Cameron County. And joining him is Dr. Gina Cano Monreal, the Provost at TSTC in Harlingen, Maricela De Leon, who is the Executive Director of RGV Lead, and Andrea Figueroa Benton, who's the Director of Community Relations at NextEd, the big LNG. And their focus is going to be on workforce pipelines, training alignments, wage opportunities, career pathways, talent attraction, extended time that allows for deeper. There'll be a lot of opportunities to talk about the workforce strategy and talent development that's going on in our region. And both panels are going to have opportunities for a little Q&A with our audience. But those are our two featured panels.
I don't want to sound like I'm putting out an invitation. It's sold out, right? We're
sold out.
Yeah,
we sold out and topped out at 125.
Yeah, lunch it starts at 11. I'm not extending an invitation. We're just shining a light on this important conversation we're having with frontline professionals who are in the business of erecting structures, designing, erecting structures, and all the ancillary services that are feeding into this. It's the Institute for Leadership in Capital Projects, ILINCUP, as the acronym as we pronounce it. The gathering in Harlingen at the Harlingen Convention Center today, powering Texas and regional growth. Yes, plenty of conversations on infrastructure, workforce issues, two different panels. And I'd like to shine a light on this and emphasize that you can also be a part of it. If you're an architect, you're a contractor, you got a fleet, you're a developer, you're an engineer, or in a decision-making capacity for some of these projects at some of the institutions. It could be a port, Harlingen Port, Port Mansfield, the Port of Brownsville. It could be at City Hall, could be at County as well. We're going to see a massive, quick expansion and lots of projects coming to South Texas. The goal of this is to make sure that our companies, our workers in South Texas, our business, they're the ones that capture the business, the dollars, the capital is being infused here in South Texas. Be a part of it. Let me take a quick break, Brian. Let me pay some bills. You're listening to a special presentation of the Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV. Again, we're in Harlingen, our broadcast possible by ERO Architects, Brian Godinez. Again, this is his project, he and several colleagues, to try to, in setting up and expanding the efforts of the Institute for Leadership in Capital Projects. Stay with us, the Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV from the Harlingen Convention Center.
Coming up after the Sergio Show, stay tuned for the Dana Les Show starting at 11, followed by the Brian Kilmeade Show at 2 on News Talk 710 KURV and on the Radio Potterme app.
Back to Drive has officially arrived at South Texas Buick GMC. Drive home in a new GMC Sierra for just $330 a month, or enjoy a stylish Buick Encore GX starting at only $190 a month. Plus, take thousands of dollars off on selected GMC and Buick models. Visit SouthTexasGMC.com or call 661-5000. Celebrating over 20 years with you. Sherry Road exit between McAllen and Mission. South Texas Buick GMC. Not the biggest, just the best.
This segment brought to you by City of McAllen. Refresh 50/50.
The best gun show in Texas is coming. The Saxet Gun Show. This Saturday and Sunday at the McAllen Convention Center. Buy, sell, or trade. The Saxet Gun Show has everything. Guns, knives, military, and every caliber of ammo you can possibly need. Doors open at 9 a.m. this weekend. For more info, go to saxetshows.com. It's the Saxet Gun Show at the McAllen Convention Center this Saturday and Sunday. You better be there.
Looking for equipment you can trust from a name that stood strong for over 50 years? Rivera's Machinery has been serving the Rio Grande Valley since it was founded by Tomas Rivera, a man who built his business on hard work, firm handshakes, and treating every customer like family. Today, his grandson Thomas carries that same name and that same commitment forward. 3 generations strong and still family owned. They're your trusted Coyote dealer, offering the full lineup of Coyote equipment. Powerful Coyote tractors built tough for Texas land. Heavy-duty skid steers, smooth-cutting zero-turn mowers, rugged utility vehicles, equipment that's built to work as hard as you do. And here's the best part. Right now, with credit approval, they're offering 0% interest financing on all Coyote equipment, making it easier than ever to put a brand new Coyote to work on your property. From Tomas to Thomas, the tradition continues. Come join the tradition of family service, hard work, and dependable Coyote equipment. Rivera's Machinery, 3 generations strong. Your hometown Coyote dealer. See dealer for full details.
Thank you, Weslaco, and thank you, Rio Grande Valley, for listening today to News Talk 710 KURV, the Valley's official home for Fox News Radio.
News Talk 710 KURV special presentation. We're on the road. Harlingen Convention Center, the event center, beautiful facility. We're here with the Institute for Leadership and Capital Projects, ILENCA. And this conversation taking place today, made possible by many supporters, including ERO Architects. This broadcast on 710 KURV, we want to say thank you to one of our longtime supporters, the Harlingen Economic Development Office. Thank you to RGV Lead as well. Powering Texas and regional growth, workforce issues that we need to talk about, and infrastructure, in particular, water and power and water. So that conversation taking place. Again, it's a sold-out event. We're just shining a light on it. So hopefully you as a professional on the front lines of drawing, designing, and developing and putting out the slab and erecting structures, the economy in South Texas is growing by leaps and bounds. Be a part of it. And let's make sure that our local businesses and professionals are the ones that land all these jobs. Brian Godina is one of the reasons that we're in Harlingen at this special event. Brian, ERO Architects, listen, I want to close up this segment. Tell me, there's always something going on at your office. You got some special projects, recent, about to open up, and something down the road. So give me a recap of what's going on at your office at ERO Architects.
I'll do that, but first, I just want to do one more shout out to the fine work that Orlando Campos and Beverly Loftus did with us today in putting this event together. We would not have been able to do this without them and the cooperation and work that the Harlingen Economic Development Corporation did to be able to pull this off. So we thank them and the board for supporting this initiative. Also, a special shout out to my colleagues, Jose Delgado at Half Associates, Oscar Garcia at Broadus Companies, Courtney Wilson Villarreal over at D. Wilson Construction, along with Stephanie Rendon over at Terracon, and we have a great board, hard workers that have been putting together this event. All of them are sponsors for today, along with some others. Daniel Silva with the Brownsville Community Investment Corporation is on the board, along with Vanessa Hernandez, who is the VP over at the Mission Chamber. And then finally, Javier Solis, who's a member of Millennium Engineers. So we thank all of our board members in being able to pull this event off. And by the way, Sergio, if about 5 or 6 or 7 people show up and walk in, I'm sure we can fit them in there if we have to.
Okay. All right. We can. Not everybody eats their dessert. Yeah, that's what I've noticed.
They may not get a plate of food, but they may have a dessert.
There we go. Stick around. Wait to the end. See if anybody left any dessert. You can enjoy some of that. Ask for some coffee as well.
Yeah,
hey, so
absolutely.
Catch me up to speed on ERO Architects, your projects. So what you got on the table? Tell folks, let's crow a little bit.
I'll do that. We are excited about our San Antonio office that opened up about 6 months ago, being led by Fernando Garcia, a 30-plus year veteran in the San Antonio area. We are building our staff there to have a presence there and become a local firm in San Antonio. All the hires that we're doing in San Antonio are all San Antonio professional architectural veterans that we're building there. And our intention is to cover the work that we have going on in Carrizo, Del Rio, and Eagle Pass, along with the San Antonio area, and then shifting a bit more east over into Houston.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. And then Brownsville office, we opened about a year ago. I think Brownsville and Cameron County may be the hottest area in the state of Texas in terms of growth, led by obviously SpaceX and then the LNGs, and now with Saronic. You can't recognize that Highway 48 anymore like it used to. It just looks like a futuristic city now in terms of these buildings that are going on between the island and Brownsville. Our presence there is important for us to be able to serve the city of Brownsville, the school district, the port, along with GBIC, and then we're just about starting construction for the new Performing Arts Center in San Benito School District, and so there's a lot going on in Cameron County as well as what we're doing here in Hidalgo. But I want to talk about an initiative that I'm very excited about. So for years, we've built our reputation on our cultural design, going into communities and researching the communities we serve and finding these nuances or what's indigenous to the region, whether it's on the natural side or whether it's on the historical side, looking at the land, people, and history of a community, and doing what we can to embed those designs into the buildings that we do. We believe that when we do that, it creates a sense of belonging, a sense of place. Individuals feel familiar when they go into a building because of the way we've designed the exterior and or the interior that showcases and highlights the history of a community or its natural indigenous environments, whether it's the floral side or whether it's the air side or the water side or whatever is indigenous to that area. We'd like to embed certain things, even the way sunsets settle into that particular community. We'll use those colors in the building, specifically on the interior side. But we believe that there are many, many buildings up and down the region that have a lot of stories to tell. And we're going to start a series called Stories Buildings Tell. And, we've got the iconic buildings up and down the region from Rio Grande City to Port Isabel, whether it's the old lighthouse, the beautiful historic districts of Rio Grande City and Roma. There's so much French, German, and Spanish influence from Mexico in terms of the architecture. And there are many buildings that are not as iconic, iconic being, of course, the Basilica. But there are smaller buildings that are in different communities, like the old Hidalgo Pump House and the museum and birding center that particular building has some very interesting attributes. Rio Grande City has the influence of the French and German architecture, and then as well as Brownsville. The fact that steamboats used to be the main transportation method between Rio Grande City and Brownsville, and all of that influence is from both Louisiana and Mexico. The French have a lot of architectural influence when they were here over 100 years ago, specifically in the cotton industry. But there are small little buildings in the downtown areas of these communities, and I like to think that every one of those buildings has a particular history and a story to tell that maybe we may not be fully aware of. And think of each building as like a fingerprint in a community. Every building's different. And every time you see a building, based on the time of day, based on lighting and shadow and color, your perspective and your angle, it looks different every time. We want to capture those buildings, and we want to capture them both in color and black and white, and start developing a community montage of buildings that you may not be aware of, or buildings that you are aware of, and in some cases may even be our buildings, and start a series doing that. So we're going to begin a podcast, social media initiative where we are honoring the buildings and structures of the Rio Grande Valley. And that's something that we're starting on and ongoing for the next 2 years that we're going to be working on. We're really excited about that. We've been talking about cultural design and the importance of cultural design in this region. Now we want to honor those small and large buildings and structures and tell their stories.
Man, from wineries to old schools to old courthouses, man, you're going to have plenty of cloth to cut as far as the history of South Texas.
Absolutely.
Depots,
There's just so many buildings. Yeah. And there's been other initiatives. There's a couple of individuals who have done photographic montages of some of these buildings in black and white and in color. We've seen them. But we're going to come from a different perspective in terms of what we're going to do.
I'll tell you what, the first one comes to mind is Most History, the Museum of South Texas History, the old courthouse. That, of course, is full. There's a catalog of a lot of the history in the area as well. All right, Brian, again, thank you for the invite. Thank you for your support, having us over to this and participating in this essential conversation, again, powering Texas regional growth, infrastructure, workforce issues. It is the Institute for Leadership in Capital Projects. Brian Godinez from ERO Architects. Be well, brother. Look forward to our next conversation.
I will, and looking forward to being at the event, and hope that everybody gets some great enjoyment, information, insights, and walks away learning a little bit more about the infrastructure workforce challenges and what we're trying to do to solve those so that we can grow prosperously in this area.
The Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV at the Harlingen Convention Center with iLink Up, the Institute for Leadership in Capital Projects.
Here you go, Dad.
At LSNB, we build strong foundations on values that matter
And business practices you can rely on.
investing in education,
Volunteering in the communities we serve.
and fueling our region's economy.
For over 40 years.
Our mission has been supporting area businesses,
We are LSMP.
donating more money to more causes than all other area banks combined.
Here, in a place we call home. We are LSMP.
The Valley's Bank.
With the Discover Cashback Card, earn 5% cash back at different categories each quarter on up to $1,500 in purchases. It pays to Discover. Terms apply. See discover.com/5 for details.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. A standoff continues in the Strait of Hormuz with Iran saying no vessel gets through without their permission.
This came after President Trump posted yesterday on Truth Social, saying in part the USA has total control over the Strait of Hormuz. Our naval blockade is being called by everyone a wall of steel.
That's Fox's Trey Yanks. New Fox News polling shows Democrats have a good chance of flipping a Senate seat in Maine, with Democrat Troy Jackson with a narrow lead over Republican Susan Collins.
This comes as Republicans have been working for months now to tie Jackson to the Democratic Socialists of America, telling voters this guy is just too progressive for the state of Maine. But voters say they're actually more worried about Collins' ties to President Trump, with more than half of the voters saying she's just too aligned with the president.
Fox's Alexis McAdams, America's listening to Fox News.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather the forecast, mostly sunny and hot today. Highs in the upper 90s to 105 with the southeast winds 15 to 25 miles an hour. Breezy this evening, mainly clear and humid. Lows only dropping into the lower 80s. The southeast wind still at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Becoming windier with clouds and sun. A spotty afternoon thunderstorm Friday. Highs in the upper 90s to near 105. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Catarina on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
Fox on Tech.
Google announces new hardware all designed to bring more AI to you. As announced at the Made by Google 2026 event, Google debuted new stuff such as the Pixel 11 smartphones coming in regular, Pro, Pro XL, and Pro Fold. That one comes with a 30x zoom on the camera. The phones are made with Google Gemini artificial intelligence in mind and will be able to deliver some advanced features, such as now having Google's Live Transcribe be able to interpret American Sign Language. It makes use of the cameras on the phone and gives the user a readout of what someone using ASL is saying. Also out soon will be the new Google Pixel Watch 5 and a new gadget called the Pixel Tag. It's a locator tool competing with Apple's AirTag. Pixel Tag connects to Android's Find Hub and can be controlled and located using Pixel phones, watches, or by using voice commands to Gemini. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez. Rapid fire headlines.
We're broadcasting from the Convention Center, participating with today's gathering, lunch gathering. Sold out gathering. I'm not inviting you to lunch now. I'm just telling you we're shining a light on the Institute for Leadership Capital Project. So tune in. We'll bring in more information, more interviews here in just a little bit. Meantime, let me share some economic news the past 24 hours. So latest numbers, inflation cooled. Also, the producer price index cooled. Yeah, not moving much. So yesterday's report down about 1/10 of a point from 3.5 to 3.4. However, you take out the volatile numbers. Groceries, yeah, a bit higher. Transportation, other services, a bit higher. That's reporter Elizabeth Schultz. Mexican cartels increasingly, that criminal element just south of the border, increasingly getting more high-tech. Boy, they love those drones. And this interesting tech note from Rice University that's in the news pool this morning. So faster phone and EV charging might be on the way thanks to Rice University. Remind me, Freddie, to say the A&M chant during football season on Rice University. Something about Rice. Anyway, I know we can't do that chant, but later, remind me. So Rice University researchers announcing a new process that would produce ultra-conductive materials. They call them MAX-Enes. So those will be produced like in 30 seconds compared to the several-day process that is involved right now. So by using fast electrical pulses instead of like acid baths like batteries, this Rice University team saying that manufacturers could soon slash production costs on batteries, longer-lasting batteries, pave the way for cheaper, ultra-fast charging batteries, and, of course, the gear that depends on that as well. This is the Sergio Show on Newstalk 710 KURV. This hour made possible by South Texas Buick GMC and Lone Star National Bank.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER